In this video, we will discuss the quotient and the power rule. With the quotient rule, if you have a quotient or a fraction, to simplify it, you would subtract the exponents among variables. First example, if you have regular numbers in front, just reduce those to lowest terms. So both 24 and 33 can be divided by 3. So 3 can go into 24 8 times, and 3 can go into 33 11 times. Now looking at the C's, use the quotient rule and subtract the exponents. Always large minus small regardless of the order. So 3 from 5 will give us C squared. And the D's, just like numbers, anything over itself cancels out. And so our final answer is 8C squared over 11. Let's look at the next example. 2 can go into 10 5 times. And notice where I'm putting the 5 up there at the top. Now to simplify the e's, again we have a quotient, so we're going to subtract the exponents. 5 from 8 will give us 3. Now where is the larger exponent located? Right, it's in the denominator. So since the larger number or exponent's in the denominator, our result is also going to be down there. So e to the third would be down here. So our final answer is 5 over e to the third. Let's look at our last example. Again, we have a quotient, so we need to use the quotient rule. Now, if you don't see an exponent, it's understood to be 1. Quotient rule means to subtract the exponents. So 1 from 4 will give us 3, or c cubed down at the bottom. And 5 from 8 will give us 3. And since the larger exponent's in the denominator, that's where we put our final exponent as well. So that would be d cubed. Now nothing's left on top. We must put a 1 up there, or else our answer is wrong. So the final answer is 1 over c cubed times d cubed. Again, with the quotient rule, if you have a fraction, subtract your exponents to simplify the variables. The next rule we're going to discuss is known as the power rule. When you use the power rule, you multiply the exponents. In other words, if you have a power raised to an outside power, you multiply the exponents. So for number 1, just 5 times 2 will give us x to the 10th power. And that's it. Question 2 is equally as simple. 6 times 3, that will give us y to the 18th power. What's different in the next two questions is you have numbers raised to the power as well. Well, all we do is just evaluate 3 to the third power. So 3 to the third power will give us 27. And now we can use the power rule. 4 times 3 will give us x to the 12th power. The same thing with question 4. Before we use the power rule, we need to evaluate -2 to the fourth power. Now be careful that -2 is in parentheses, and when you raise it to the fourth power, that's multiplying -2 times -2, which will give you a +4. +4 times -2 will give you -8, and then -8 times -2 will give you a +16. And then c would be raised 3 times 4, that would be c to the 12th power. So if you have numbers inside the parentheses and there's an outer exponent, go ahead and evaluate those bases to that exponent. Question 5. All you're really doing here is raising both a and b to the third power. So your final answer is simply a cubed over b cubed. That's it. The last example is a special case. The zero exponent law tells you anything raised to a zero power except 0 itself is automatically 1. So 7x, both being raised to the 0 power, is just 1. Make sure you know all your different exponent laws because they will help you simplify a lot of these problems. In the next video, we will discuss the product rule and negative exponents.